Good morning. Hope everyone's all right today, Saturday. So today's 15-minute workout is for legs, okay? So I'm just going to get started straight away. So what we want to give you a little bit of instruction on squats. I just need to move that up a little bit. Okay, so one of the main exercises that we're going to do here are squats. So to begin with, I'm just going to have a nice gap in my feet, a little bit wider than hip distance apart. And the key thing that you want to do is think about bending from here, okay? And you're sitting back as if there's an imaginary chair, and you're keeping really solid on your heels, and make sure your feet and your heels are really firmly planted. And then the feeling that you want to do when you're here is to push the floor away to stand up, okay? So I'm just going to do a few for you to look at. So you're sitting back. Keep your chest up. Imagine you've got a logo on your t-shirt and you want someone to see it. Your hands can just be on your hips, not on your legs, or they can cross over, or I just have mine in front of me like this, and I'm pushing the floor away to stand up, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing for a squat. So sitting back, pushing down into the floor to straighten up. Sitting back, pushing down in the floor to straighten up. So the second exercise that I just want to teach you as well that we'll be doing is a reverse lunge. Now, this can be quite a difficult exercise, but it's definitely one worth working on. You can hold on to a chair. So I'm going to just hold on to, imagine I've got a chair here and there's a wall. And what you're doing with the reverse lunge is you're taking a big step back. Now you need to have a big enough step back so that your knee is directly over your foot. If you take too small a step back, you end up, see how I've got this big bend in my knee here, and that's going to make me have to lift my heel off the floor and make me put too much pressure through the knee, okay? So I'm going to take a nice big step back, so hold the chair for balance is ideal. And then I'm going to imagine that I'm just going to drop vertically down, okay? Then I'm pushing down on this front foot to stand up and bringing my feet together, okay? So that's how you do a reverse lunge properly. Step back, nice big step back, drop down to the floor. Think about bringing that back knee towards the floor. Then I'm pushing on my front knee to spring back to bring my feet together. So I'll do a few for you here. And hold on to a chair can help massively with this. You don't have to go back too far. Just go down, you don't have to go down too far. You could go back down just a little bit, if that's enough for you at the beginning, as long as you step back far enough and you can push down through the front leg, just come back, okay? So really important with those two exercises that you are doing them properly. A lot of people with legs, with leg workouts, have problems with the knees, okay? And doing those exercises properly, making sure your heels are in contact with the floor and you're pushing up through the heels as you stand up, is going to help remove the pressure off your knee, so really important. Okay, so I'm going to just go through a little workout now. I'm starting the clock from now. I just wanted to talk about those two exercises to begin with to make sure you knew what you were doing and you could do them properly. If you're not sure, you can just run through this video again and just practice those first movements before you start. Okay then, so we'll go on to the workout proper. So to begin with, we're going to take our shoulders back and just open our chests. Just going to do a little bit of warming up through your arms, just to get your joints moving because it's early. Just going to be quick here because I've designed it so that the workout starts off quite nice and gentle. Go the other way. And we're not using weights for any of these exercises. You can just use your body weight. And then we're just going to roll our shoulders back. And then we're going to start to do those little squats that we talked about. So I'm going to just stand here so you can see this angle. And I'm sitting back and I'm standing up. Sitting back, pushing into the floor with my feet. So I'm feeling like I'm pushing the floor away as much as anything. And what you want to think about, as I'm bending down, I'm stretching the muscle on my glutes. As I'm standing up, I'm squeezing it. And this is how we're working the glutes. So we're going to do 8 more of these. 1, stretching it, squeezing it. Stretching it, squeezing it. Lost count. That's the problem with talking and counting. So let's do 3, 2, Really make sure you're sitting back as if you're sitting on an imaginary chair. And 1. Now, next one, we're going to do a squat again. So sit back, but now we're going on to one leg. You can have a chair in front of you if you want to help with the balance on here. And we're going to do that 10 times. So sit down and lift that leg. Sit down and lift that leg. So we're getting a squeeze here now. So sit back and up. 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Squat down and raise 9 and 10. And then we're going on to the leg. So squat and side. Squat and side. And 3. You might find one leg feels easier than the other or harder than the other. That's really natural. And make sure to sit back and keep your chest up. I think that's 5. We'll go upside if you forget we counted wrong, won't we? 6, 7, squat. So I'm really feeling it on this leg now. 8, 9, last one, and 10. Okay, so important to move your legs in a front to back direction and side to side. Okay, reverse lunges. We're going to do 8 on each leg. Hold the chair if you need to. So remember what you're doing here. Take a big step back. Come down, push hard on this front leg to stand up. That's 1. And 2, do it 8. And 3, put your hand on your hip. Just don't push onto that leg that you're moving. 4, 5, 6, really push into the floor with that front leg as you stand up. 7, you should start to feel this through your glutes as well. 8, and then we're going to stop and swap legs. Okay, so a nice big step back, drop into the floor, push down hard on the front leg, bring your feet together. That's 1. 2, 3, and again you might find one less harder than the other, but that's all right. 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then we're going to stop. I'm going to tip the camera down because now we're going to lie on the floor and do some floor exercises. So I'm just going to take that a little bit lower. Okay, so to start off with, we're going to do a glute bridge. So for this, we did it the other day, lying on the floor. Hands go flat. Your knees and feet are a little bit more than hip distance apart, but you want to make sure they're parallel, so they're all in a nice straight line. Digging in with the heels here, and we squeeze the bump from the beginning to push up as high as you can. And it's all about squeezing the glutes. With your glutes, unless you squeeze them intentionally, they won't do anything. Okay? So you've really got to practice giving them a good squeeze every time you lift up here. So let's go. Digging in with your heels, that's going to help. And push up by squeezing them together and give them a good squeeze at the top and then come down. So we're going to do 12. 2, 3, and 4. Really squeeze each time, really think about it and push up as high as you can. 5, you can always go a little bit more than you think. 6, really keep squeezing, make it count. 7, dig in with your heels, push up as high as you can. 8, 9, 10, high as you can. 11, last one, and 12. Lovely, and then rest. You're going to lie on your side now. So working the side of the glutes. So you can have your hand under your head, or you can rest if you have any problems with your neck. This can be a lot more comfortable just to rest on your arm. So now I'm going to take my bottom leg is bent for me to rest on, hand in front. I want my hips parallel to the mat. I want my toe to point down a little bit and also to be pulled up, so my legs active, okay? So I'm not just sort of floppy, nice and straight and active. And I'm pulling up, squeezing here, and then I'm going all the way down with this toe to touch the mat and doing it again. So we're going to do 12 on each side for this. So when you're ready, let's go. So 1 and 2, really pull up that leg as high as you can and squeeze it. And you're controlling the movement going up and controlling the movement going down. Don't just let it flop back down again. That's probably 6 or thereabouts. 7, really squeeze. 8, keep that foot tight and pulled up. And all the way down in between each one and controlling it. 10, 11, last one, and 12. Lovely. And then we'll swap. Okay, so got the keys in my pocket. That's not going to be very comfy. Okay, so remember, bottom leg bent, toe turned down, so and pulled up towards you. Stomach pulled in a little bit just to keep you nice and supported. And then we're going up as high as we can in a straight line and really squeezing here. So this is 1, 2, touch all the way down now afterwards. 3, really squeeze it. Really think about the muscle that you're working. And 5, which is all this region here. 6, 7, 8, 9, touch the floor, high as you can, control up and down. 10, 11, last one, and 12. Like that, like bend, just give it a bit of a rub if you're feeling the burn. And then we're going to stand up and do all of those again. Okay. So we're starting with squats. Do I need to? Yeah. Can't quite get far enough away in my little gym to not have to keep adjusting the camera. Okay, so we'll go with squats. So feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. And remember, we're sitting back. Keeping nice and solid on the heels. Chest is slightly lifted, so we're looking forwards. We're not closing down like that. So push through the feet. 1. We're doing 12 this time. Squat as low as you can. Keep firm with the heels. And 3. So stretching the glutes out and pushing hard into the floor down, squeezing the glutes. 4, 5, 6. And as you get more used to these, you can hold weights to make it harder. 7, 8. So you know what to feel like you're sitting into your hips. 9, but keeping looking forwards. 10, 2 more. 11, last one, and 12. Okay. Then we're doing our side step with a leg raise, and we'll do 10. So sit down, out to the side. 1 and 2. So the squat's the same. Sit back into your hips, keep your heels on the floor, but lifting up at the side. 3. Do a little kick. Hold on to a chair if you need to. 4, 5. Squat, lift. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we're going on to the other leg. Sit back. Just rest if you need to. Just do as much as you can at the beginning. 2, sit back and kick out, little kick. 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. And then we'll do our reverse lunge. So get your chair if you need to hold on to something. And we're going to do 8 on each leg. Okay, so you remember you're taking a big step back, dropping down to the floor, pushing hard from the front leg, closing your feet together. That's 1. And 2. And 3. And 4. Let's go down as far as you can. 5. 6. But make sure you go back far enough so your knees over your feet, over your ankle. And I think this is 8 now. And swap legs. Okay. Nice big stride back. Push hard into the floor of the front leg to stand up. And your feet together. That's 2. And 3. And 4. Really feel like you're pushing hard down through the heel. 5. 6. 7. Last one. And 8. Then we're on the floor, back onto glute bridges. I'm going to just tip this down a little bit, just to make it easier. Okay, so lying on the floor. And remember, digging our heels in, hands are flat, and then we're squeezing our glutes right from the beginning to push up as high as we can and squeeze as hard as we can. So that's 1. And 2, 3, push it up and squeeze. 4 and 5, 6, 7, high as you can each time. Dig through the heels, squeeze the bum. 9, 10, 11, last one, and 12, and then rest. Flipping over onto our sides, and hand under your head, feet out, and then you're going to pull that toe up, remember, and point it down slightly, tapping onto the floor in between each one. Really think about squeezing this part of your hip. Let's go for 12. 1, nearly done. 2, 3, tapping down. 4, really squeeze. And 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and then rest, swapping over. Okay, and then again, get that bottom knee bent, toe pulled up, pointing down, and then we're going to raise 12 times. Nice and controlled going up, nice and controlled going down. Really squeeze here. 2, 3, 4, and 5. High as you can with that leg. 6, 7, 8. Tap down, all the way up, all the way down. And then this is 10, 11, last one, and then 12. Control on the way down, and then stop. Okay, so we've done all our exercises. Let's do a little bit of the stretch. So you're going to lie on your back, bring one leg up, and you're just holding behind the leg. You want to feel the stretch here on the hamstring. So you don't need to have your leg straight, but if you can straighten it as much as you can, pull your toe down towards you, just enough to get what we want to feel as a gentle stretch on the hamstring. That's all we're going to. It doesn't need to be too strong. It doesn't need to have your leg shaking. And then you're going to release. And we'll go on to the next leg. So lifting up, and just pull that toe very slightly towards you, just enough to feel a nice gentle stretch on the back of your hamstring. And while you're on the floor, you want to just relax, try and get your breath even again, and just try and hold as little tension in your back and your arms and your neck and shoulders as you can, and just focus on holding your stretch, but the rest of you being relaxed. And then rest. Then we're going to put your foot over your, and, over your knee. Okay, now this might be enough for you. You can push this knee out to get more of a stretch in the back of your hip. If that doesn't feel enough of the stretch, you can lift this leg up higher. And that's going to stretch right into your glutes and your hips and the back of your glutes. So this is a good stretch. And again, a bit harder to relax, but still try and think about releasing the tension in your jaw and the back of your neck and your shoulders. So the more relaxed you are, the better your stretch is going to be. And then we'll swap sides. Now you might find one side is tight on another, or tighter than another. And so you might want to just do this version for the second side. Or you might find that this is your easy side and it's a little bit easier to pull your leg up, or you need to. And it's just whatever's right for you. This side is a little bit tighter for me. So it feels a little bit less comfortable. So again, I'm just going to concentrate on relaxing my body, and I don't need to feel a trembling stretch or any intense pain. I just want to feel a gentle stretch and just relax into it. Okay, and then we're going to stand up. And then, so I'm going to just go over by a minute just to show you 2 more stretches, because it's always worth having a little stretch if you can after a workout. And now I'm just going to hold on to something here, and I'm bringing my foot up towards my glute and holding it. If you can't manage this one without, you can hold a little scarf around your ankle and hold the scarf, and that's a good way of just getting a little stretch there. So I'm going to talk about stretching in another video, because quite often with exercise our muscles are tighter than we realise. So it's really important to stretch, have massages, go do things like yoga as well, are really good to release the tension in your muscles, stop you getting injured, and help you to keep moving better. And then relax. And then the last one, you're going to take a step back. Now I want you to make sure when your feet are parallel to each other, so this bottom foot shouldn't be turning, pointing outwards, pointing towards the front one, you're bending forwards. Again, you can hold on if you need to do something. And then you're pushing this back heel down, so you should feel a stretch through your calves. Again, this is a good one. Nearly everyone has tight calves, me included. And then swap over. So again, just check that back foot is parallel, so it's facing the direction of the front one. And then I'm bending and slightly leaning forwards and keeping the sensation of pushing that heel down at the back to feel a nice stretch on the calf. So technically we're probably on 17 minutes rather than 15 minutes. But once you get used to doing these, you can speed up. Obviously I'm taking a little bit of extra time to give you a little bit of information about the technique to make sure you're doing it right, because I think that's really important at the beginning. Okay, that's me done. Let me know if you try it. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you in the next video later on today. Okay, all right, bye now.